It's Curtis & Son Funeral Home, Sylacauga, Childersburg. Mr. Barton Isabel of Sylacauga died at his residence on Wednesday. Curtis & Son Funeral Home, North Chapel, will announce the arrangements later on today. And Mr. John McCormick died at UAB in Birmingham last night. Curtis & Son Funeral Home, Childersburg Chapel, will announce the arrangements. And visitation for Ralph Russell Rich, age 79, of Childersburg, former city councilman in Childersburg. That visitation is tonight at Kilgore Funeral Home in Leeds from 6 until 8 o'clock. And a graveside service will be held on Friday at 11 o'clock from Forest Crest Cemetery. Online condolences at KilgoreFuneralHome.com. Kilgore Funeral Home in Leeds directing. Funeral service for Mrs. Mary Alice Jones Young, age 73, of Alexander City, at 1 o'clock today at New Elam number 1 in Alexander City. Burial in the church cemetery. Armourers Memorial Funeral Home in charge of the arrangements. And funeral service Friday for the Reverend J.C. Robinson, age 82, of Odenville, 11 o'clock Friday morning at the Church of God Reformed, with the Reverend Otis Daniels and Joseph Robinson officiating, chairman in the St. Clair Memorial Gardens. Family receiving friends tonight, 6 until 8 at Ursery Funeral Home in Pell City. Online condolences at urseryfuneralhome.com. Reverend Robinson was served on the state as state overseer of the Alabama in the Church of God for 9 years, and he was ordained minister in the Church of God of Prophecy. Ursery Funeral Home, Pell City, in charge of the arrangements. Visitation for Owen James Thomas, age 17, is this morning from 10 until 11 o'clock at Alabama Funeral Homes and Cremation Centers in Dadeville. Funeral service will be at 11 in the chapel. Burial to follow in the Tallapoosa County Memory Gardens. Owen was killed in an automobile accident on Saturday. In lieu of flowers, donation can be made to the funeral home to help with the cost of funeral arrangements. Alabama Funeral Homes and Cremation Centers, Camp Hill, directing. Mrs. Leanne Ward, age 80, of Sylacauga, died at her residence on Wednesday. Funeral arrangements to be announced later by Radley Smith Funeral Home, Sylacauga. Dr. Susan B. McCullough, director of the Children's Women's Sober Outreach, died at her residence on June 25th. And Radney Funeral Home in charge of the arrangements. Mrs. Mary Elizabeth Pardue, age 56, died June 25th. A memorial service will be announced at a later date. She was a longtime citizen of Talladega Funeral Home in charge of the arrangements. And Mr. Hugh Earl Blair, age 89, died June 25th at Medical Center, Barber County in Eufaula. Funeral service will be Friday at 11 o'clock from First Baptist Church in Eufaula with Dr. Ken Bush officiating. Burial in the Fairfax Cemetery addition with Chapman Funeral Home directing visitation 10 until 11 a.m. at the church. Mr. Blair has relatives here in the Sylacauga area. Celebration of life and reception for Mr. Ray Luvorn, age 68, who passed away June 22nd. That celebration service and reception will be held at Talladega Creek Baptist Church on Saturday at 11 a.m. All friends are invited to come celebrate with the family. In lieu of flowers, you may donate to the Alzheimer's Association or the Talladega Creek Baptist Church. Talladega Funeral Home in charge of the arrangements. And Mr. LaWarren was a longtime businessman in the Talladega area, including the grocery store business for a number of years. Celebration of life for Mr. Roy J. Estelle, age 65, is noon Friday at DeForest Chapel on the campus of Talladega College. Interment in the Oak Hill Cemetery. The body will lie in state at the chapel 1 hour prior to the service. The family will receive friends at the funeral home tonight from 5 until 7. Mr. Estelle was a graduate of Talladega High School. Terry's Metropolitan Mortuary directing. James Jim Eugene Eister Sr., age 73, died Friday, June 21st in Birmingham's VA Hospital. Celebration of life was held on June 24th. Jim and his wife, Cheryl, moved to Sylacauga in the early 70s, where he worked at Payco Electric and later Avondale Mills as an electrician. He and Cheryl recently celebrated 50 years of marriage surrounded by their loved ones. Mrs. Betty Jean Cates, age 65, of Talladega, died June 25th. Graveside service today at Coldwater Baptist Church Cemetery at 3 o'clock with the Reverends Joel Davis and Donnie Thompson officiating. Talladega Funeral Home in charge of the arrangements. In lieu of flowers, donation can be made to the American Cancer Society. This look at obituaries this morning presented by Curtis & Son Funeral Home, the North Chapel on Highway 21 in Sylacauga, and the Childersburg Chapel on Highway 280 in Childersburg.